Also probably just a good habit in general. Yep, so this is Even the Ocean, Gauntlet mode, which is just the puzzle platforming sections of the game. There are visual novel sections that it skips with that. The main mechanic of this game is the health system, which is a balance between light and dark energies, or green and purple. The game does use either one in different instances, but having more dark energy, as you see me now, does make you run faster, or move faster horizontally, to be more specific. Well, having more light energy, it makes you jump higher. Most of the time you'll see me trying to have a lot of dark energy, but if you max out completely, I'm kind of on a magic pixel right now. Well, you'll die. And you don't want that. It's not good. Highly advise not dying. These calibration bars you'll see me pick up in place. If the ball going back and forth on them hits a hazard, then it breaks, and I have to go pick up a new one. But basically we're repairing a power plant, and these are part of that repair. A power plant that harvests light energy, specifically. So most levels will have unique gimmicks to them, or they introduce new ones. This one here is basically going to be those bounce pads I just jumped off, and these water fountains. If you enter these water fountains while holding your shield up, which, by the way, you can hold your shield in the 4 main directions, it will push you up farther. Also, if you're holding your shield down, I just prefer to hold it up. These large bulbs you just saw me waver around, those do basically 3 small bulbs worth of damage. It's fairly significant and very important to dodge so that I can stay at critical dark energy health here. It's moving fast. It's important for a speedrun. However, I will take an intentional hit right there. As I might have mentioned, that health is used as a resource for various switches in the game, and that's one of them. And if you don't have enough energy, the switch will just drain the life straight out of you. So, preferable to avoid that. To turn on the lights. Amazing. Right, so you can slide on this wall just a little bit to get right past the elevator platform. Saves a good bit of time. Elevators don't move very quickly. Unfortunately, you can't do that for most elevators in the game. Just a couple in this area. Most elevators are not right next to the wall like this. I forgot to pick up a bar. That's great. Good start. Very smart. But as you may have noticed, you can kind of outrun the calibration bars. And while they're catching up to you, they can't receive damage, so you can use that to easily skip over various hazards. These large lasers here, they're a bit troublesome. You can't block them. Your shield position just determines how far they push you back continually. But they can do very large amounts of damage over time, as exemplified there. But that was intentional, so it's fine. You do need a little bit of health there, just so I can survive that run through there while staying at critical. Intentionally waited just a little bit so that I could make sure I would have dark energy critical at this little juncture. Save time. But as you can probably guess and kind of notice, having high dark energy does allow for various sometimes large platforming skips just from how far you can jump, and that's pretty nice. Hey, Grunt. Alright, that was a good skip there. As long as you're inside a bubble of the same color as an energy field, you don't take damage. If it hits a field of an opposite color, the bubble will break automatically. Or a hazard of the opposite color, too, to be clear. We're going to be switching to high green energy here. It's actually very important. Okay, almost messed that up, but having the high green energy let us jump up there. This skips a whole room off to the side. It's pretty significant. A rather long room as well. And it kind of works out since having high energies, or high light energy, is pretty good for climbing vertical surfaces, so it was actually quite good for that room. And they do let you rebalance pretty easily here. enough times that I really am just taking damage to a certain extent on purpose to make sure I can survive later damage, and it's just kind of flopping back and forth between light and dark to actually live. It's important. Unfortunately, there was no way for me to just avoid getting fairly high light energy there. And to force you into it. I think part of that is to teach you that you can't die from energy effects of the opposite color while you're in a field of the other color, I guess. So if I'm in a dark energy field and get hit by light energy bulbs or shots, I can't die from it, because you'll instantly heal the other way around. These mirror puzzles, basically, I just happened to memorize them over time. What's that? A rainbow. Nice. I got a rainbow. Instead of losing a bunch of time there. I'm proud of myself. Okay, this is interesting. I can't think of a time in any recent memory where I've just been able to have critical health here right away. So that's neat. I would just normally get that on that climb that I just went through. Does mean lots of zooms. And this health here should work out perfectly that I will be right in dark energy, critical health at the end, like that. I just love how well that's balanced. I do think that John and Marina did a very good job with the level design. So here's me taking advantage of the fact that these shots can't kill me because I'm in a green energy field. So I might as well just take every single hit. Okay, that works. Let's see. I wish I could figure out a way to consistently get over that one bulb. It does seem to give me some trouble. Not a huge deal, though. So I'll get to rebalance that in the next room for a skip. And that room is actually a fairly wide or long room, but you don't have to go anywhere else in it. You can just take advantage of the fact that you can wall jump really far. And it just works out. Again, to note that hitting any of those purple bulbs would kill me. I would be dead. Oops, okay, that was a silly movement mistake, but not too bad. Have to be careful as you drop by that. It's dropping straight through can be pretty dangerous. Thankfully, I am aware that switch doesn't take much energy at all to open that door. Take advantage of that to just stay at critical health. More calibration puzzles. They're actually pretty neat to figure out and do. And sometimes require lots of tight movement. That was a little sloppy, but it worked out. Took that hit, doesn't really matter much. It's right at the end. And I wouldn't get to keep my critical health status, because certain levels, including the one we just did, do reset your health to at least 25%. Or I guess 75% would be more accurate. So it's put me at 75% dark energy. This is a level that I think really highlights how calm and chill the music gets in this game. A lot of them are very chill, but something about this one in particular can really lull me into a sense of peace, even as I'm doing this life or death movements. Yeah, these moving blocks are the main gimmick, so to speak. This trick here, as long as I never press down when I enter water, it will not switch me to a swimming state, and instead I'll be in a bobbing state, which if you press up while in the bobbing water state, it kind of rockets you upward. And that's pretty much one of the only places that it's really obvious. It makes a big difference there. It's just cool how that works. Bedtime meditation music. I can't disagree. So I guess to catch up a bit on story, those power plants we're fixing are actually under attack by what are called geomes, which are a combination of animal and plant and mineral. Basically the rulers of 20 questions. And what we're doing now is we're going inside these power plants and we are blowing the dark energy vents out towards them. Or that's the end goal, to chase them away. Purposely not at critical health here. It's because of a part coming up soon. Most of these little bulb switches don't take much of your life in this level, but this one does. And or actually, they don't take any life usually in this level. It's kind of odd. That's not the case in most places. Good. I can't even take credit for that joke. It was someone in chat that came up with that one. I have to be honest. Okay, so this is going to be a difficult strategy. Hopefully it'll work out. It worked out. So those are called shiny wall jumps. You're not intended to casually jump up these smooth walls, or shiny walls. But if you rapidly press away from the wall, right after you make contact, and then press jump, so more Metroid-style wall jump, but with a tighter frame window, you can jump off of them. Pretty neat. So yeah, that's a geome. Big angry rock cow. We blew our purple vape smoke at it, and like anyone getting purple vape smoke being blown at them, they left. You probably notice a lot of dialogue just passing by very, very quickly towards the end of these levels. And this game actually has some speedrun settings. And one of those is to automatically clear text very rapidly. So you don't even have to mash. It's actually a break. So one of the few breaks you have during this run is when there's text going on. So that's really cool. That was close. Okay. So these are cat boos or dog ghosts. I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to be. I think of them as ghost dogs, but they kind of lock onto your position and from there just go in that direction that they locked onto. And they deal the same amount of damage as a bulb does. Most things that do discrete amounts of damage will do that same amount, which is convenient. Like these shots do the same as well. So it's a lot easier to calculate. Then of course there are things that do continuous amounts of damage, and those can vary more. Ahaha! Okay, I haven't had that happen in a while, but I made it out. So you kind of just learn how you need to move in order to avoid these ghosts and cat boos. You do have to take some damage from them, though. And that's an important factor to keep in mind. Ah, I didn't want to take that hit, though. There. At least there's a bulb right there. Makes it easy to fix. Some of these, the cat boos move in such wildly different ways that you kind of really have to be adaptive with how you move. Others you can pretty much move the same way every time, and it'll be fine. Like this one, I pretty much move the same way every time, which is good because that room is terrifying. Alright, though, we're coming up on the calibration puzzles. And it's kind of interesting the amount of health you want to be at coming into this section, because you want a little bit of green health still. So I do need that to be able to pass through a energy field. Things seem to be on a global cycle. More or less. That's one of the scarier moments in this run. Just that particular ghost chasing me down. I get some safety health for this room. So again, I won't be able to carry the critical health with me anyway to the next level, and this is the last one. So, not losing a lot of time by playing it a tiny bit safe. For some reason, my brain got a little turned around at the end of that puzzle. So yeah, more vaping at large creatures. I'm a rock plant bird. Right, so there's a lot of interesting mechanics this level. To see, there's the energy mole up there, who is our best friend. Very helpful. And these kind of binary switches that control various little blocks. But the energy moles do take a lot of energy to activate. You have to keep that in mind. Timing is a little specific for this one, in order for those shots to get by in one cycle. We got it. It's one of those things that's not very punishing casually, but much more punishing in a speedrun. Gonna wait a cycle here. Okay. So our shield can block these lasers, and that's really important. Again, another gimmick to this stage. I probably should have mentioned that a moment ago, huh? But that becomes very important to work around. I have to get out of critical health for an upcoming puzzle. Not this one. But still, there's no convenient place to get light energy between now and where I do need it. It's this room. So, climbing with this amount of dark energy that I currently have really sucks. Because you can barely overcome the momentum from the push away from the wall. Which is very different when you're at critical. You can overcome it instantly, almost. But it's the way we have to climb, because we have to use some light energy at the top. So, it's just unfortunate, I guess. And you'll see a lot of puzzles like this one where we're kind of just manipulating where the laser can go with the switches. Ah, not a good cycle. Oh well. I don't know why this last platform isn't on the same cycle as the others, but it's the only one that's kind of a little off. But I really am pretty sure these are all on global cycles, so... So the fact that I actually went a little fast there, it didn't matter. I needed to be here for this cycle. It's a little leeway room, I guess. Wiggle room. In this next room here, we're supposed to activate another energy mole, but instead we can just take advantage of how far we can jump. It's very simple. Alright. Got to keep my critical health there, that was nice. And we're on to calibration puzzles. Don't want to outrun the bar too much there. Then it takes more time for it to eventually catch up to you. I think one of the hardest basic things for me to get a hang of was just keeping these bars in mind as I move. Multitasking is not my strong suit, and that's very multitasking heavy. At least focus-wise. My favorite Jubby is back. Nice. Oh my gosh. Please. There we go. Probably going to be on a bad cycle for the next room now. No, I'm actually on an excellent cycle. I'm a liar. But I decided to die anyway instead. That's not great, actually. Yeah, that's really, really bad. It's extremely bad. Trying to think how I should do that. Fix it up. The most simple way to do so. I wish I hadn't hesitated so much. But if I had just landed on it like this the first time, would have been fine. Would have been just fine. So I could have saved a lot of time there, but instead I'm just going to save a little bit of time. So this time we vape at a sky whale and get them to go away. Sky Whale was actually the one that broke the power plant that we just fixed. I have to wait a cycle out, or half a cycle. Not bad though. Get hit once on purpose. So that I can cleanly just go through here. Well, hopefully anyways. No guarantees. Oh, good. Let's not die. Let's just not. I would rather not. So if I had hit that switch at that moment, I would have died. That would be not preferred in many ways. So I'm already at critical health here. This is not super common for this level. It also means I have to be a little safe at the start here. Make sure I don't get any hits taken. So the gimmick of this level is that I cannot control my shield in a lot of situations. It gets automatically pointed in a direction that the green arrows suggest, so... We can kind of skip a few half puzzles though by doing shiny wall jumps, so that's nice. It's handy. They're a little harder to time from a water spout, but you can do them. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, so these were actually gathering ancient bombs to fully destroy the geomes, because we have learned they are harbingers of the apocalypse, and a great flood will happen, and we're trying to prevent it by blowing them up. and other such reasons. Gimmick here, as you've probably gathered, is reflection puzzles. I often start moving just a little too soon on that one in particular. A little safety health, which was apparently 100% necessary. Okay. A little more safety health. So that actually skips half of a puzzle in that room. Just standing fairly precisely. These claws are probably the main gimmick of this level. Extending claws. And due to how this level is constructed and the type of energy opportunities you get, I've found it's actually better to go with high light energy throughout the entire stage. There's a lot of vertical movement. I'm gonna wait this one out, not take damage. I often take damage there. Just trying to do a small skip, but it really did not pay off for me last run, so... yeah, I think being able to do this instead is much more worthwhile. It's just like with the run speed boost at 90%, the jump height boost at 90% light energy is kind of massive. However, I will basically need to take some damage in the next room in order to live. That was probably more than I wanted, but we can rebalance that. It's just this particular jump is a scary one. Yes, one of the few cases where you can get too much safety health. Yep. This game be like that. That was actually very smooth for that room. Normally I have to do a lot more stuff. Let's just say that. That damage was intentional, just to bring myself a little bit down before I hit that switch. Although I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I messed up this room because of that. Shit! Why is this being this bad? It doesn't really take this much. I'm gonna have to do my old strategy here instead. I'm pretty upset by that mistake, not going to lie. Because I felt very confident and hit that movement. But oh well. We'll get it down. However, I love when this room goes like that. That's beautiful. I'm pretty much where I want to be health-wise. That's good. That was close, but I made it. Okay. At least that went smoothly for a change. I was holding back a little bit just to make sure I didn't hit the bulbs. Got myself hit. Oh well. It would be preferable to be at low purple energy at the start of the next level, but that just rarely happens. At least if I'm moving smoothly. Am I gonna save that much time? I don't believe that. But I'm okay with it, it's just surprising. But yeah, that was the first geome down. We will miss you, animal, plant, mineral, cow. Taking some intentional damage there to get down to dark energy finally. Don't want too much here though. The next area can cut it a little close. There's just no light energy chance for a little while, but a whole bunch of dark energy. So oh yeah, these launch pads, they're the main gimmick of the level. Just so you know. They're here, and I'm using them. You can get some interesting momentum tricks with them. And the cat boos or ghost dogs return. Our good friends. And they also open doors for us now, which becomes very complicated in some situations. Very simple in others, like that one. Still, it's a thing. Have to wait for that bubble to completely go into that switch. Or when you pick up this second bubble, it will cancel that first one. You have to be a little careful. This is also one stage where the calm music kind of just lulls me into a sense of just zoning out and playing the game. It happens, but... And sometimes saves can hitch like that. It's... Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often, and it isn't a major time loss, but it exists. That's one of the harder ghost dog door rooms. Probably guess I'm intentionally getting high light energy at this point. And that's because of this. It also turns out that having a little more light energy for most of this calibration puzzle set works out well. Both to make some shiny wall jumps easier, and for climbing back up this tunnel that we're kind of going up, down. Alright, that was pretty clean. Yeah, you kind of can skip a few puzzles like that one just by carrying a calibration bar from other places, although that's the last instance of it, and I just now mentioned it. Good job, me. Yeah, a little time loss, not bad. I remember that level went extraordinarily well, and my personal best. So, avoiding critical here again. Being critical here can be quite a big risk. So you do need to fall into that smoke. One of the few uses again of using the bobbing physics instead of having to press down. 2 of those I never pressed down to sink. That worked out pretty well. That particular set, or that puzzle, really depends a lot on if you're on a good cycle of the shots. Or it can, anyways. 1 shiny wall jump to skip 1 fountain. And get to critical health just for a little bit of a speed boost for a short time. That'll change pretty quickly because we're actually going to switch to high light energy here. And kind of hold that for a large portion of this level. If you say so, Joby. You do say a lot of things, it's true. They just push you. But they are often spaced in ways to make it so that they would potentially knock you into hazards. It's actually in the main place you probably saw them when I was running back and forth. It's actually faster to not get hit by them. You can gain momentum sooner. And also, eventually their momentum starts to go backwards, and I don't understand why, after you get pushed by them and run on ice for a little while. Glad you like that, MLG baby. It's, let's see, webcaptioner.com. It's a free tool, anyone can use it. It only works with Chrome, though, just so you're aware. So you have to use Google Chrome. So it uses a Google API to run, basically. It takes a little working to make it look nice, but I mean, using the bubbles to kind of launch out of water is probably the only gimmick I think that's introduced in this level in particular. Everything else kind of just uses older stuff, which is not bad. It's just that's how this level is built. And just presents a lot of the older stuff in new ways. Oh, I guess those timed, those timed claw things are technically new, aren't they? My bad. The bullies. Yeah. My mistake. But there's more to that than I was realizing. I guess because they do reuse those later, regardless. This is probably the strongest example of outrunning the calibration bars. Which again, right now, we're not repairing a power plant anymore. We're setting up a bomb inside of a geome. At least for now. Okay, that's more light energy than I want, but it's fine. They kind of just nicked me with the very edge of their hitbox there. Should be pretty decent on time. I am correct. So now we have these grind bars. I guess you'll just hold your shield upwards. Which I never mentioned, you lock that in place just by holding down X. Or the right shoulder button. Either or. That way you don't have to keep holding the same direction. Clearly, That was kind of close, almost didn't make it back. Personally find that room a little scary just because of how close you are to some very damaging things, so. And that room is a little difficult, the one we just went through. Trying to get all of those rail grinds just right. But it works out. A little suspicious of this. I might need to just do everything perfectly, so I'll just cut off that sentence. So you don't really need critical health here, because you can actually go too fast and lose the aggro of this enemy, so and I have to go at their own pace. And I tend to need that anyway for getting out of here. Or need more health anyways. That was kind of close, but I made it. Okay, so I didn't mean to go all the way up there, I just needed some health before I did this. So otherwise, you do die. That's a little more health than I need. It's okay, though. Well, I thought it was okay, but I was wrong. I should have waited a cycle, apparently. There we go. Now I'm at a little lower health than I'm used to. We'll see how this kind of pans out. I think that's going to put me in critical, so I'll have to take damage from the ghost here. Which is fine. Ended up with a lot of light energy there, but ending up with a lot of light energy is definitely preferable to dying on that little climb. It just means a little bit more time inside of that particular thingamadoodle. I want to be at fairly low, or fairly high amount of dark energy, but not quite at critical. Not here. Yes, 5. And so yeah, this will have 3 sets of 3. We already did the first set of calibration puzzles. Oops. You can do that. It's a mistake. You can do that. Thankfully, it's not a super costly mistake in that instance. Next room, we're gonna kind of abuse how far we can wall jump again. Just kind of go around this whole puzzle. I think it's really neat. And one of my favorite little finds. Well, we have to go back. It's fine. We can fix this. How you move through this part really depends on the positioning of the cycle, and you can't, it's really hard to try and measure that beforehand. So take what you get, basically. Right, and that's the last of those. I hope everyone's ready for a world record. Too bad that it apparently is not going to be a sub 120, but that's still very good, and I'm glad. It was close. Nice done. So this one is my submission video. I don't, whether I get another PB or not, this is my submission video. Zephyr, thank you very much for resubscribing, and you were here.